Hi there, welcome to Tech Center. This is Joshua and I'm going to make a 5-part series where I will show you how to make a game similar to Flappy Bird in Python. After posting all 5 parts, I'm going to combine all 5 videos and post it as a single long video. In this video I am going to be using Python 3.8.3. I have posted a video showing you how to install Python 3.8.3 version. This video is the second part of the series, and today I will be showing you how to create the sprites and the background image. Before we jump into the video, please subscribe and click the notification bell to receive future videos from my channel. If you haven't already watched the first part of the series, I have put a link in the description box below so you can watch the video. If you have any questions or comments about this video, or if you'd like to get links for all of my previous videos, please contact me via email on 4techcenter@gmail.com. First of all, let's open Python from the Windows Programs list. Click Start, scroll down to Python 3.8, and click on Idle Python. Now that the shell is open, let's open the file that we saved in the last part. Click on File, and then on Open. Here you can see the file that I created. The file that you created will also be visible here in your computer. Click on it and click on Open. Now that the file is open, let's close the shell and let's maximize the Python programming window. Let me zoom in so you can see the screen better. Now that the screen is zoomed in, you can see the code much clearer. Now let's start programming. Press Enter, Enter, Backspace, Backspace. That's 2 enters and 2 backspaces. Step 6. Creating the sprites. We're going to start off with the background pen. We're going to create it first. I'm going to call it background pen. Background, capital P pen, space equals space, sprite, open brackets. We're going to set its height as 1, so we're going to type 1, comma, space. We're going to set its length as 1, so we're going to type 1, comma, space, open quotation marks. Now we're going to assign its shape. In the program we are not going to see the background pen, so let's set it to the classic shape, which is an arrowhead shape. Classic, close quotation marks, comma, space, open quotation marks. Now we're going to set the color of the pen. The color that we're going to use is hash DED694, close quotation marks, comma, space. Now we're going to set the start position of the background pen. Open brackets, 0, comma, space, 0, close brackets. So what we've done here is we've set the start position to the center of the screen. Comma, space, 0, comma, space, 0, close brackets. These last 2 values are 0 because we do not need to move the pen as a game object itself. We only need it as a background pen. We're going to draw the background with it. We're not going to move it. We're not going to see it. So we don't need the last 2 values. So we just put it at 0. Press Enter, Enter. Now let's create the score pen. Score, capital P pen, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 1, comma, space, 1, comma, space, open quotation marks, classic, close quotation marks, comma, space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma, space, open brackets, 0, comma, space, 250, close brackets, comma, space, 0, comma, space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the game over pen. So this pen will be used to write the game over message when you lose the game. Game, capital O over, capital P pen, make sure game over pen is one single word, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 1, space, 1, space, open quotation marks, classic, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, red, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 0, space 0, close brackets, space 0, space 0, close brackets, enter, enter. Now we're going to create the trophy that appears at the end of the game, so when you win. We're going to start off with the very top of the trophy, which is the curve. I'm going to call it trophy top, trophy, capital T top, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.8, space 6, space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, gold, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 90, space, 168, close brackets, space 0, space 0, close brackets. Again, we're setting the last two values to 0 because we're not going to move the trophy. The only things that we're going to move in the game are the pipes and the bird. Press enter. Now we're going to create the body of the trophy. Trophy, capital B body, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 6, space 6, space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, gold, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 90, space, 107, close brackets, space, 0, space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the shadow inside of the trophy. There is a small shadow near the top of the trophy which shows the inside. So we're going to create it. Trophy, capital I inside, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 1, space 5.5, space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, hash FEBE00, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 90, space, 163, close brackets, space, 0, space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the left handle of the trophy. Left, capital H handle, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 4, space 1, space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, gold, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 20, space, 107, close brackets, space, 0, space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now, currently, the left handle is just a block on the side of the body, so it's just a square sticking out of the side. There is no hole in between the handle and the trophy body. So now we're going to create the hole in between. Left, capital H hole, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 2.8, space, 0.5, space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, space, open quotation marks, hash 7, 3, C, 5, C, E, close quotation marks, space, open brackets, 25, space, 107, close brackets, space, 0, space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the right handle. Right, capital H handle, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 4, comma space 1, comma space open quotation marks square, close quotation marks, comma space open quotation marks gold, close quotation marks, comma space open brackets 160, comma space 107, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the hole in between the body of the trophy and the right handle. Right capital H hole, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 2.8, comma space 0.5, comma space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, hash, 73C5CE, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 155, comma space 107, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to create the curved bottom of the trophy. Trophy bottom, make sure bottom has a capital B, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.8, comma space 6, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, gold, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 90, comma space, 46, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the neck of the trophy. Trophy, capital N, neck, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 3, comma space 1, comma space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, gold, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 90, comma space 30, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the base of the trophy. Trophy, capital B base, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 1, comma space 6, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, grey. Make sure you spell grey with an A, not an E, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 90, comma space 0, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets, enter, enter. Now we've created all the parts of the trophy, we are going to create the player. We're going to start off with the bird's body. Body, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 2.5, comma space 3.5, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, orange, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 115, comma space 107, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 1, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to do the eye of the player. Eye, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 1.1, comma space 1.5, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 95, comma space 116, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 1, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to create the pupil of the eye. Pupil, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.4, comma space 0.2, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, black, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 89, comma space, 116, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 1, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the top beak of the bird. Top capital B beak, make sure that's one word, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.3, 1.8, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, red, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 88, comma space, 103, close brackets, comma space, 0, comma space, 1, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to create the bottom beak. Bottom capital B beak, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.3, comma space, 1.8, space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, red, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 88, comma space, 98, close brackets, comma space, 0, comma space, 1, close brackets, enter. Now let's create the wing of the player. Wing, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 0.8, comma space, 1.8, comma space, open quotation marks, circle, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, white, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, minus 140, comma space, 107, close brackets, comma space, 0, comma space, 1, close brackets, enter, enter. Now that we've created the bird, we're going to adjust the angle of each part of the bird. So we're going to start off with the body. We're going to rotate it left by 10 degrees. Body dot lt, open brackets, 10, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to rotate the eye by 20 degrees to the right. I dot rt, open brackets, 20, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to rotate the top beak left by 4 degrees. Top capital B beak dot lt, open brackets, 4, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to rotate the bottom beak 4 degrees to the right. Bottom capital B beak dot rt, open brackets, 4, close brackets, enter, enter. Now that we've created the player and adjusted its angles, we're going to create the pipes. We're only going to create one set of pipes. So I'm going to call the top pipe, and the bottom pipe, bottom pipe. Let's start with the top pipe. Top capital P pipe, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 25, comma space 3, comma space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, green, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 200, comma space, 430, close brackets, comma space, 0, comma space, 0, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to create the bottom pipe. Bottom capital P pipe, space equals space, sprite, open brackets, 25, comma space 3, comma space, open quotation marks, square, close quotation marks, comma space, open quotation marks, green, close quotation marks, comma space, open brackets, 200, comma space, minus 205, close brackets, comma space 0, comma space 0, close brackets. Now you may be wondering why these last two values for both of these pipes is 0. Now this is because we are going to set the values later on in the program, so we're going to do that in another video. In this video we're not going to set the values for these. The values for these will depend on the game mode that you select, so we're going to do that later on in another video. Enter, enter. Step 7. Creating procedures to draw the background image. First of all, we're going to create a procedure to draw a quadrilateral. So I'm going to call it draw, def, space, draw, open brackets. First of all, we're going to take the color as a parameter. So I'm going to call it col, comma, space. And we're also going to take the position of the pen. So I'm going to type pos, comma, space. We're also going to need the two lengths of the sides. So I'm going to call them len1 and len2. len1, comma, space, len2, comma, space. We're also going to need the rotation angle of the pen at each corner. So I'm going to call them rot1 and rot2. rot1, comma, space, rot2. Close brackets, colon, enter. Background, capital P pen, dot, color, open brackets, col, close brackets, enter. Background, capital P pen, dot, go to, open brackets, pos, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to put the pen down, so when we put the pen down it will start to draw on the canvas of the screen. Background, capital P pen, dot, pd, open brackets, close brackets, enter. Background pen, make sure background pen has a capital P, dot, fill color, open brackets, col, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to start filling the inside of the shape. Although we have not started drawing it, we have to type begin fill at the start. Background pen, make sure background pen has a capital P, dot, begin, underscore, fill, open brackets, close brackets, enter, enter. For, space, loop, space, in, space, range, open brackets, 2, close brackets, colon, enter. Background, capital P pen, dot, fd, open brackets, len1, close brackets, enter. Background pen, make sure background pen has a capital P, dot, rt, open brackets, rot1, close brackets, enter. Background pen, make sure background pen has a capital P, dot, fd, open brackets, len2, close brackets, enter. Background, capital P pen, dot, rt, open brackets, rot2, close brackets, enter, enter, backspace. That was 2 enters and 1 backspace. By this point, the shape would have already been drawn, so now let's end fill. Background, capital P pen, dot, end, underscore, fill, open brackets, close brackets. So now we've filled the shape with the colour that we assigned. Enter. Now we're going to put the pen up so it does not draw on the screen anymore. Background pen, make sure background pen has a capital P, dot, pu, open brackets, close brackets, enter, enter, backspace. That was 2 enters and 1 backspace. Now we're going to create a procedure to loop the previous procedure that we just completed. This is to maximize the efficiency of the program. So let's create it. Def, space, loop, capital D draw, open brackets, start, capital P pos, comma, space, loops, comma, space, col, comma, space, len1, comma, space, len2, comma, space, rot1, comma, space, rot2. Close brackets, colon, enter. So first of all, we're going to move the background pen to a specific location on the screen. So this will be assigned when we actually use the procedure. We're not going to use the procedure right now, we're creating it, so we're not going to worry about the position right now. Let's just set it to that position, because we've called it start pos over here. Background, capital P pen, dot go to, open brackets, start, capital P pos, close brackets, enter. Now we're going to start looping the previous procedure, which was draw. So to do that, we're going to have to create a for loop. To do that, we have to type for space loop space in space range, open brackets, and now we're going to assign how many times we need to loop this. This will vary depending on how many squares and quadrilaterals we will need in the program, so we're going to insert it as a parameter when we call the procedure. We've called it loops, so I'm going to just type loops, close brackets, colon, enter. Now we're going to use the previous procedure, draw, open brackets. We're going to pass in the color, col, comma, space. Now we're going to assign the position of the pen as the start position, because in this procedure, after it's drawn one quadrilateral, its start position will be at the end of the first quadrilateral. It should not go back to the very start, otherwise it will redraw over the same path. So to do that, we're going to set the x-coordinate as the current x-coordinate of the pen, and the y-coordinate as the current y-coordinate of the pen. Open brackets, background, capital P pen, dot xcore, open brackets, close brackets, comma, space, background, capital P pen, dot ycore, open brackets, close brackets, close brackets. As you can see, we've used xcore and ycore to find the x-coordinates and y-coordinates. If you ever want to find the x-coordinate of a turtle in a program, just type the name of the turtle that you assigned and then dot xcore, open brackets, close brackets. It's the same with ycore, but instead of typing xcore, you type ycore. The name of the turtle, dot ycore, open brackets, close brackets, comma, space, len1, comma, space, len2, comma, space, rot1, comma, space, rot2, close brackets, enter. Now after drawing a quadrilateral, it will eventually end up at the start position again. So we're going to have to move the pen again. So I'm going to move it by 40 pixels. To do that, type background, capital P pen, dot fd, open brackets, 40, close brackets, enter, enter, backspace, backspace. That was 2 enters, 2 backspaces. Now we're going to draw the background image. Step 8. Drawing the background image. Now we're going to draw the background image. Draw, open brackets, open quotation marks, hash, DED694, close quotation marks, comma, space, open brackets, minus 223, comma, space, minus 286, close brackets, comma, space, 439, comma, space, 55, comma, space, 90, comma, space, 90, close brackets, enter. Draw, open brackets, open quotation marks, hash, D6, AD52, close quotation marks, comma, space, open brackets, minus 223, comma, space, minus 281, close brackets, comma, space, 439, comma, space, 5, comma, space, 90, comma, space, 90, close brackets, enter. Draw, open brackets, open quotation marks, hash, 528, 4, 2, 1, close quotation marks, comma, space, open brackets, minus 223, comma, space, minus 277, close brackets, comma, space, 439, comma, space, 4, comma, space, 90, comma, space, 90, close brackets, enter, loop, capital D draw, open brackets, minus 223, comma, minus 263, close brackets, comma, space, 12, comma, space, open quotation marks, hash, 9CE, 65A, close quotation marks, comma, space, 20, comma, space, 20, comma, space, 135, comma, space, 45, close brackets, enter, loop, capital D draw, open brackets, minus 203, comma, space, minus 263, close brackets, comma, space, 11, comma, space, open quotation marks, hash, 73AD3A, close quotation marks, comma, space, 20, comma, space, 20, comma, space, 135, comma, space, 45, close brackets, enter, draw, open brackets, open quotation marks, hash, DEF77B, close quotation marks, comma, space, open brackets, minus 223, comma, space, minus 259, close brackets, comma, space, 439, comma, space, 4, comma, space, 90, comma, space, 90, close brackets, enter, enter. Step 9. Creating a procedure to remove the widgets. So what we're going to do now is creating a procedure to clear all the widgets that we're creating. So for example, buttons, writing on the screen, and other features in the home screen. So we're going to have to remove them before actually starting the game. To do that, we need to create a procedure where we delete all of them and clear the list that we created at the start. In the previous video, we created an empty list which was going to be used for any of the widgets that we're going to create in the future. So we're going to delete them in this procedure. Let's create the procedure. Def space clear, capital W widgets. Make sure clear widgets is one word. Open brackets, widgets, capital L list. Make sure widgets list is one word. Close brackets, colon, enter. For space widgets in space widget, capital L list, colon, enter. So now we're going to create a structure, try except. We're going to use that structure because there are two different commands to delete these widgets. If we use one of them for all of them, there will be an error message. So we can't use both commands. The first command is canvas.delete, and if we use that for all of them, it will not work. The second command is widget.destroy, or the name of the widget.destroy. So we can't use just one of them, we have to use both of them. So to avoid an error, we're going to use a try except loop. First of all, we're going to try canvas.delete. Then we're going to do widget.destroy if canvas.delete does not work. So let's do that. Try, colon, enter, canvas.delete, open brackets, widget, close bracket, enter, backspace, that's one enter and one backspace, except, colon, enter, widget dot destroy, open brackets, close brackets, enter, backspace, backspace, enter. That's 2 enters and 2 backspaces. Now, at this point, we have deleted all the widgets, but there is still some data stored of them in the memory. So, to delete that from the widgets list, because the memory is stored in the widgets list, we're going to delete everything in the widgets list. So to do that, we're going to clear it. Type widget, capital L list, dot clear, open brackets, close brackets, enter, enter, backspace. That was 2 enters and 1 backspace. Now we're going to leave the program here for this video, and we're going to continue the program in the next few videos. So I'm going to first of all save this file before closing it. Click on File, then click on Save. Now that we've saved the file, let's close the Python programming window. In my next 3 videos, I will be posting tutorials to continue programming Flappy Bird in Python. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you liked this video, please subscribe and smash that like button and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please click that red subscribe button below. If you have any questions or comments about this video, or if you'd like to get links for all of my previous videos, please contact me via email at fulltechcenter@gmail.com. I have added it in the description box below. See you in the next video!